It's finally time to share the best of beauty of everything I tried this year. And you guys know I tried a lot. These are the tippity top best things. Some of these have been favorites for years and they continue to be a favorite for a reason. So if you are looking for a great like eyeliner recommendation or foundation or powder or sunscreen, I've got you covered here because these are my tippity tops and I'm so excited. So if you just clicked on this and you're new here, first of all, hey, I'm Jessica. I'm so glad you're here. Just to give you a little like background, I'm 35. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be 36 this month. I've got kind of normal to dry skin, leaning drier in the winter. But I definitely have noticed my skin has been a little bit more oily lately. And I feel like that's helpful to know with some of the things I'm recommending. And I tend to preference-wise like medium coverage things. So like light coverage, I'm not usually about that light, and full coverage, I'm not either. So a lot of these are more medium coverage. So I will have everything I mentioned linked below as usual, along with my shades. If you are curious, let's dive in. If you missed couple days ago's video, you know what I mean. Last week's video, I did this same video, but for everything else. So my favorite items from like fashion to jewelry to Amazon to purses to everything in between. Definitely check that out if you haven't. It's kind of the sister video to this. Let's start with, I've got makeup, I've got perfume, hair care, skincare, and body care. So it's a lot to cover, isn't it? Let's start with skincare, okay? Because that's kind of, for me, the tippy top. So this is my second bottle of this, the CeraVe Hydrating Toner. I have loved this year, so much so that I very rarely use something up quickly and then repurchase it. A lot of times I'm like, I liked it, but I'm gonna buy something else to try something new. It's just in my nature to keep trying things. But I love this so much, I tried to use something else and then just wanted this back. So a month later, I ended up purchasing it again. So it is for normal to dry skin. So it says it hydrates, it removes leftover residue, and it helps restore your skin barrier. My thing is, I do use tretinoin and it can definitely be irritating. So I try to be sure to use kind of more barrier-friendly items outside of the tretinoin. And so this has been amazing. I will use this right after cleansing my face. Once all makeup is gone, I've double cleansed, I just put this on a cotton round and kind of wipe it around, and I'll get it, especially in those like nooks and crannies where you just know makeup is gathering there. And this gets all that extra gunk off, but then it also deposits some nice like little bits of niacinamide. Like I said, it's got hyaluronic acid, ceramides. So it's alcohol free. This doesn't burn or irritate my skin or anything like that. It's not that kind of toner. So I really, really highly recommend that product, and it doesn't totally break the bank. Another similar product is the Bioderma. I have been using this now for a couple months before my makeup routine. So I will, in the mornings, instead of washing my face and getting off last night's skincare, I've noticed that my skin just can't seem to handle being washed in the morning as well. It's too much. And so I was doing that for a long time. And when I switched to just using this, to just on a cotton round, wipe off the skincare that's left over, it's been perfect. My makeup applies really nicely. And again, it's not irritating or anything like that. And this one is rinse free. Like you don't need to rinse it off or anything. I feel like we came in hot there. Let me take a breath. Still an old standby. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the rosehip oil from Trilogy. I also love the one from The Ordinary. That's probably the one I'm gonna buy next. It's way cheaper. And I really don't know that I noticed a difference, especially for the price jump. They're both organic rosehip oil, but this one is nice. I will say I bought this one on Amazon. You can get it there, but The Ordinary really is so much cheaper. And then if you don't have this in your little medicine cabinet or skincare, wherever you keep your stuff for skincare, you probably will need this a time or two. So this is the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm. I was so confused about what this was for. And the reason I discovered it was because I had a really bad case like a year or two ago of, I shouldn't say really bad, it was fine, but it was not enjoyable and it hurt. It was perioral dermatitis all around my mouth. I think I could attribute it to some plumping lip things that I was using. I'm not sure though, but anyway, Long story short, I have not used those things. It has not come back, but this is what held my hand and got me through because it is so soothing. So it's a dimethicone skin protectant. It helps relieve like really cracked, dry, red, irritated skin. I actually was having a little bit of burning kind of like in certain areas over here recently. And so I stopped using most of my skincare. I really simplified, and I was using this for like a week as just my all over face cream, and it settled it down perfectly. And now I'm not noticing that burning or anything. So it's just one of those things I use monthly for one reason or another. You can use it on it's not even just for your face. You know what I mean? You can use it anywhere. It even says helps treat and prevent diaper rash. So there you go. I didn't even realize that. That's awesome. Let's do body care because I only have a few. So one of them is from Naturium. It is this body wash here. So there's a couple different body washes. This particular one is the one I'm talking about. It is the Booster Hyaluronic Acid Body Wash. I am someone that definitely can get really irritated, itchy skin, especially on my legs. I think I'm just really eczema prone. Did I just say prone? Prone. I have a stuffy nose too, so I feel like everything I'm saying sounds weird. Okay, anyway, this stuff is amazing because I feel like it's hydrating my skin, but it's fragrance free, it's non-irritating. I love the color of the bottle. Okay, I know that sounds dumb, but I know you know what I mean. When your products are pretty and they're really good, it's just like double whammy, you know? And this bottle has lasted me forever. I have a little bit left, but it has lasted me for so long, and I am really, really picky about body wash, and this one I'm such a fan of. I would love if Naturium came out with another one that has oat in it. What am I thinking of? You know what I'm talking about, colloidal oatmeal. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing because for itchy skin, ooh, I have an Aveeno one I love for that if you're in need of like, if you have severely itchy skin, that I highly recommend. I guess that was it for body care. Let's dive into hair care now. So really quickly, because I know I have talked these to death, but my go-to dry shampoo is from Amazon. It's gonna look weird and you might be like, no, I just wanna be able to spray it. Stay with me. I have used spray dry shampoo my entire like adulthood, right? But this stuff, oh geez Louise, that just got everywhere. Doesn't usually explode like that. Anyway, the nice thing, what I was gonna say is that this isn't always like super airborne, which I really, really like versus like a spray, except for just then when it exploded, it was. Anyway, it's just this little sponge and the powder's beneath, and you can actually buy refills that you just screw onto the sponge. But you literally just tap it. I don't wanna do it, but you tap the sponge onto your hair, literally like that. I'll lift up, tap it in, do it in the back, rub it in. It will make your hair feel so like it will soak up those oils. Now, if you don't like the feeling of feeling the dry shampoo, like feeling it soak it up, you probably won't like this. But if you do, like you need it to have that kind of grit to like really soak it up, you will love this. I have tried the dark brown one. I really, really like this one. However, it definitely, you have to just be careful with it. I'll typically put this in my hair and get my hair done before doing my makeup, because every once in a while I will have like brown areas where I like accidentally touched when I was kind of zhuzhing it in. So anyway, highly recommend them. I love that you can buy refills and they are just so, so incredibly effective. I also love this shampoo and conditioner from Garnier. I had not tried Garnier shampoo and conditioner in years and years and years. This one, I feel like my hair feels so clean. It adds just enough volume. I have pretty thin strands of hair, and so I feel like a lot of them can kind of weigh my hair down. My hair definitely gets greasy pretty quickly. I have loved this so much, and not only that, you guys, it smells incredible, and it's the kind of shampoo and conditioner that actually continues to smell good for like over 24 hours. I am continually amazed. I feel like my hair never smells good, but when I use that stuff, it smells amazing. And again, I mean, it's super inexpensive, so I have gone through maybe I'm on my third bottles of each one at this point. I just love it. It is that specific kind though. I tried another kind and the scent didn't last as long. I didn't like the scent as much. It was a different shampoo and conditioner formula. So it's this specific one I highly recommend. The Grow Strong Fortifying ones. Let's do fragrance and then we'll do makeup. I'm making you guys wait for the makeup. So I had 2 fragrance faves of the year. I have many more than this that you've heard me talk about, but these are just the 2 that I feel like bubbled to the top. This one was new to me this year, the Gucci Flora Gorgeous Gardenia. It smells not floral at all. I'm gonna start there. It doesn't smell floral, okay? It smells, I just like stuck this up my nose. It smells sweet, but it's not candy sweet. It's like sweet with, I guess, a hint of floral. I mean, there's gotta be floral. It says gardenia and jasmine and pear blossom, but you guys, it smells so good. Like, this is what I always want to smell like. Even with my stuffy nose, I can still smell it, so that's pretty amazing. My only complaint, also the bottle is like unbelievably cute. My only complaint is that I feel like it only lasts like 4 or 5 hours. So I always like midday want to spritz. I might just end up getting like a travel size one to have in my purse so that I could, because I love the scent that much. I'm like, fine, that's fine. But I really wish it lasted longer. And then the other fave I finally got the full size of recently is the Ariana Grande Mod Vanilla. I had the travel size and I've been working through that all year long. And this scent is so irresistible. Like, it's maybe a little more grown up than Gucci Flora, but not too much. And again, I'm definitely like a more sweet scent. It smells amazing. Neither of these are overbearing heavy scents. And I think that's another thing I really like about them. They're sweet, but they're not heavy. And they're just great. I don't think, I can't imagine anyone smelling these and not liking these. I really can't. But you guys about killed me when you told me I'd posted a picture of this and you were like, but why does it look like a toilet? It really does. Let's do makeup, shall we? All right, and now I've got that dry shampoo all over everything. Hold on, jeez. This was so hard. If you know my little journey recently of getting rid of like 80% of my, maybe 90% of my makeup collection, it became easier to pick my favorites, I will say, but it's still hard because there are multiple things that I am cutting out of this video because I'm like, I want it to be the tippy top. I want it to be hard for a product to make it into my year-end favorites. But there's so many good products that I fell in love with this year. So let's dive in. First up, this was the first makeup item I grabbed for this video because I was like, I used it up, I'm gonna buy it again. It's the In Beauty Mineral Sun Glow. Ooh, it is the most light, kind of moisturizing, well, definitely moisturizing, but it's a lightweight sunscreen. It feels kind of like a lotion. It's not greasy at all, but it does have a little bit of glow. So you can see me applying it here. I mean, it just spreads so easily. There's absolutely no white cast at all. I have the shade fair to medium. This keeps selling out. And every time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. Like Sephora's having a sale or whatever, I'm gonna buy it. It's always sold out. So I might just end up going on the brand site and buying it if they have like some kind of % off. But I've got like 2 more sunscreens I'm using up before I'm letting myself buy this again. But I absolutely love it. It works so well under makeup. It's pretty just on its own. And I have no complaints. If you're curious, it has vitamin C as well. I didn't realize that. So it's zinc oxide, 14%. It has peptides, vitamin C, and blue light protection. Well, anyway, I genuinely have never read that deeply into this. I just loved the formula. That is so cool. I usually put on vitamin C underneath this. I'm wondering, maybe it's too much vitamin C? Is there such a thing? Anyway, so good. Highly recommend. A BB cream I just fell in love with, used an entire tube up, and I've already repurchased, is the Herborian BB cream here. I have the shade Fair. This is really, it kind of sucks. The shade range is terrible. I found myself mixing 2 shades and that works. The formula is so good. So I'm like, man, it's just, I wish they would expand it because it actually has coverage. So they really do need more shades. This one works pretty well for me, but I do end up mixing it with the darker one or with like some bronzer drops. But it's just one of those products that literally looks like your skin is perfect and that you're not wearing makeup. So it really does have that bit of coverage, but it just looks like skin. I don't know how they've done it. Please, Herborian, please make more shades, please. Anyway, it is so, so good. It's kind of pricey, I think, but I have gotten it on Amazon and it is the real deal on there. If you were curious, I ordered one from like Ulta or wherever and from there and compare, and they are the exact same. I literally looked at every single, like it is exactly the same. So, and a lot of times it's like $10 or $15 cheaper on Amazon. So. Okay, well, the one that really surprised me, and I have 2 here, and I'm realizing, okay, that's the one that needs to go. All right, shade 20 is my shade. So the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation, this is so good. I have said, I feel like they reformulated their old Flawless Finish foundation that I loved for years, and it was just kind of gone. And then this came out, and it looks so similar. like medium coverage, but it's buildable, looks really nice, kind of a satin, well, I mean, literally a satin foundation. The finish is not too oily and not too like drying. Like it is the Goldilocks foundation for me, and the shade match is pretty good, so I'm happy about that. And I'm just such a fan. I have no complaints about I have no complaints. It's that good. And the fact that for this price point, you can get such an incredible foundation. I have had, you guys know, I have tried so many high-end foundations. And when something like this that's more affordable is so much better than a lot of those, it's pretty incredible. And I want to shout that kind of thing from the rooftops. So you don't have to spend, I'm showing some expensive products here. You don't have to spend the money because you can find incredible stuff at incredible price points. I was literally yesterday shopping online for a new moisturizer because I told you I was having some burning, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I was using a new moisturizer. I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop using that. Maybe that's it. That was the only thing I had changed. And so I was like, I just want a really simple, regular moisturizer, fragrance-free. Like, I'll do all the anti-aging stuff with my other products. I just need the moisturizer to be just a good fragrance-free moisturizer. So I'm looking and I'm reading all these reviews, and I've got like a $50 moisturizer in my cart. I'm thinking about that and I'm reading reviews. And then I'm like, what am I doing? And then I ended up buying one from, I think it was CeraVe, and it's gonna end up being amazing because CeraVe, I mean, I already love a lot from this brand, and it's gonna be exactly what I need it to be. And it was like under $20. And it's just incredible what you can get for a way more affordable price. And it ends up being just as good, if not better, than a lot of the high-end things out there. Okay, rant over, as I'm going to talk about some high-end things too. So one high-end product that is actually worth the price tag, and if they ever discontinued this and I ran out, I wouldn't know what to do because this is my go-to perfect skin foundation. Like date night. I mean, I'll wear this during the day. I'm wearing it today. This is the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation. Beautiful frosted glass bottle. Actually feels high-end, which is nice when you're paying that price to have something feel nice. I have the shade 2C2 Soft Sand, a nearly perfect shade match for me. Maybe a little less, like I feel like I need it to be a little bit yellow or pink. I don't know. I never know with undertones, you guys. Anyway, this is the most peculiarly lightweight foundation, and I can't explain it other than that. It's like, it almost doesn't even make any sense. I wish you could feel it through the screen, what this feels like. It feels unlike any foundation I've ever tried. Super lightweight, but that just means it spreads so easily and nicely. It covers a crazy amount. Every time I put it on, I think, what? It's kind of like the Herborian BB cream. Like, how did they do this? Like, they managed to make a perfect foundation. So highly recommend if you've got like a special event coming up, a wedding, travel, whatever, this is going to make your skin look so beautiful. You just got to find the right shade match. Okay, I want to mention this one too. This is a lot of base products. Okay, the Wet n Wild Niacinamide Skin Tint swept me off my feet this year. I tried it because I'm like, ooh, a new thing from Wet n Wild. Let's give it a whirl. And I absolutely love it. It is so pretty. Again, it looks like skin, like the Herborian. This one's even more lightweight, but I would say they both have the same amount of coverage. And the other thing I really like about this is that it's got that medium coverage, but it doesn't highlight dry spots. So I feel like in the winter, I've really been enjoying this so far. I mean, I was using it all through fall too, but it's just a really good product, again, at a crazy price point. It does have niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, so perhaps some good skin ingredients in it too, which is always nice. I do find that I need to set this with powder though. I mean, honestly, I set all of these with powder. The Laura Mercier one, I don't need powder as much. I do set anyway, but this one I definitely noticed I need to, but other than that, I love it. Where do I want to go next? Let's do some lip products. So this is the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte. It's what I'm wearing on my lips today. I feel like it does a really good job. This shade in particular is just a fave. It's number 112 Mastermind. There's so many like snow plows and stuff driving through right now, and there's a poor mail truck yesterday stuck. And I was like, I'm looking and I'm like the only one here, and I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do to like help? I don't know how to help. Like, what am I gonna push the car? So I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, maybe I'll go out and put my boots on and like try to help. And then luckily a neighbor too like came out and helped, and then he got out. But I was like, oh my gosh, there's that sound of like tires spinning on snow If you've ever gone through it yourself, you know that sound so well. I heard it and I was like, oh no, someone's stuck. Anyway, this is such an amazing creamy lip liner. This shade in particular I love because it's My Lips But Better type shade. And I feel like it can look so pretty. Like even if I just line my lips and then color them in and then put like a clear lip gloss over it, or even like a glossy lip balm, it ends up looking so pretty. It's just such a natural color for my lip tone and lip color. But of course the formula is really nice too. If you like a creamier lip liner, I think you would really like this. And then this has been a favorite for years. And again, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. You can see just how worn and loved this lipstick is. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. It is the lipstick in the shade In Love with Olivia. This particular lipstick formula I love. So she has multiple formulas. These are the ones that are like I think it's Hot Lips 2. They're a little bit more moisturizing. It's kind of more like what I picture a standard lipstick to feel like, and I love that. This shade is just my shade. You know, when you find one and you're like, I love the formula, I love the shade, I'm good. Like, if this were the only lipstick I had, I would be cool with that because it's the one I end up reaching for most of the time anyway. So when we talk about a higher price point, this is one of those that I don't take it lightly when it's something like a lipstick that's like 35, however much this is. I bought it years ago. But when you're using it every single day, that might be one of those times that you're like, once you find what you like, I mean, I just love that so much. So much. The lip gloss, some of you guys already know what I'm gonna mention as the fave, is the Milk Odyssey lip gloss. It is so creamy. It reminds me of the Dose of Colors gloss. Do you remember that from back in the day? It wasn't even that long ago, but it feels like it was. But I think that's been discontinued, and is that brand even still around? I have no idea. Anyway, this is kind of a milky, creamy gloss. It's got really pretty color. This shade is Work Trip, which is definitely a fave. I was just recommending this exact thing to a friend the other day. It smells like vanilla. I feel like it makes your lips look nice and healthy and juicy, but it's not overpowering. It's not plumping, which I have to say, I love plumping stuff. I'm gonna talk about one, but suddenly like everything for a long time was plumping. And I'm like, sometimes you just want a gloss that doesn't have a tingle, you know? And this does not have a tingle, so I love that too. And out of all the shades, in my declutter, I got rid of obviously a lot, and I got rid of all the shades but this one because this really was the one I was reaching for the most. Another lip fave is from e.l.f. This is the Pout Clout Lip Plumping Pen. It's one of those click up style lippy things. I really like this a lot. I will say the first like 10 seconds you apply it, it's like, ooh, that looks like a really thick layer like sitting on top of your lips. But after about 30 seconds, it kind of sinks in, and it does have a slight plumping tingle, and it makes your lips look so big and juicy. I really like it. This is something that's lived in my purse a lot because it's just pretty. I don't really feel like I have to have a lip liner with it. I feel like every lip look ends up looking better with lip liner, but I don't have to have it with this, you know? So let's talk eyeshadow. I only have like two. One is this palette from NYX that really surprised me how much use I've gotten out of it and how much I have loved it. It's their warm neutrals. I think they've updated the packaging and it's even nicer than this. I mean, this is just like standard plastic. So if I remember when I was linking this last, I was like, ooh, it looks different, but it looks nicer. So highly recommend if you are in need of a neutral palette. This shimmer here is obviously my most used. I will say I obviously don't use every single shade in here, but this dark brown I've really liked for like smudgy eyeliner. These medium shades here have been amazing for the crease for me. This shade there has been an amazing just blanking out your whole eyelid for my skin tone. So there's enough in here that I'm like, man, I really like this palette and totally recommend it. Let me give you a couple swatches. Very easy to blend, very buttery. It's just a good formula. So the single eyeshadow that I have used more than anything this year, and it's what I'm wearing on my eyes today, this is exactly the look I like, where it like looks like there's something on my eyes, but it's not the first thing you notice when you're talking to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love eyeshadow, okay? That's not a slight against anyone. I love eyeshadow. I appreciate eyeshadow. But for me in my everyday at this point in my life, this is the way I tend to do it, and I really like it. This is the MAC Single Shadow in All That Glitters. It is a classic. These are weirdly expensive for this little thing. However, I will be buying it again. The closest dupe I found is this. Well, I should say closest dupe I found in my collection currently. I'll swatch them side by side just so you can kind of see. It's pretty close. So, you know, you don't have to spend the money on this if you want a similar effect. There's the Maybelline one and there's the MAC one. So the MAC one's maybe slightly lighter, but a very similar, like see that, a very similar sheen to it and the way it catches the light. I wear both of these, so I love them both, but the MAC one, like anytime we've traveled, this goes in the bag, and this is generally what I reached for every single day. So eventually I'm pretty close to finishing this up and I will buy it again. I feel like I am inching closer and closer to like nailing down, like this is, like that is my lipstick. Like that is my go-to Jessica lipstick. That is my go-to Jessica eyeshadow. And I don't feel like I felt this close to nailing down my perfect routine. I've never been closer. You know what I mean? That's exciting. Eyeliner wise, it has to be my Makeup by Mario, the perfect brown eyeliner. I mean, I'll just kind of apply it haphazardly and then I will smudge it out with a brush, and it is the most beautiful smudgy liner, but that can still have definition. It still has that deep dark depth to darken the lash line, which is always my goal when I'm using eyeliner, but it can still have that kind of more trendy, not even smoky necessarily, but just kind of smoked out look. And it stays in the waterline so well. And it is so brown. And if they ever change this formula, I will cry because, and I'm being so genuine, I have gone through so many of these. The closest I found is the Sephora 12 hour, and those are really good too. I mean, they're really close. But this is still my favorite. It's still the one I've repurchased over and over again. I obviously am close to needing to repurchase again. So good. I will say, the perfect brown is nearly black. I tried the black one and I don't like it as much. So take that for what it is. Liquid liner wise, I put this on today on top of that, even though I was wanting to just use the smudgy liner. But I wanted to show you this Physicians Formula Eye Booster Waterproof Liquid Liner. It's been a go-to for years and it's a go-to again. Every time I use it, I'm like, yep, it's perfect. I have no complaints. It doesn't like run outside of the line. It is so easy to use, super black, doesn't budge all day. What more could I ask for? This mascara surprised me. And when I recently repurchased it, because I was like, I remembered really liking that at the beginning of the year. I'm gonna repurchase it again. And then using it more, I'm like, this mascara is really, really good. This is the Benefit Fan Fest. So I feel like this can give your lashes that kind of fake, like you've almost got like a couple of individual lashes put on. It kind of gives that effect where it's not gonna be the most volumized lashes you've ever seen, but I feel like they look like the right amount. And I really like that. It holds a curl like crazy. So if you are looking, like, I feel like this is one of the better mascaras when it comes to holding your lashes up. The hardest thing is removal, okay? I've used hot water, I've used like all my things. It comes off, but it's certainly not as easy as others. So if that would drive you insane, I would stay away. But if you can get over that point, I really, really like the way this mascara ends up looking, and no smudging or anything like that I've noticed either. Oftentimes that one's a part of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, and you can get it for like $12. That's when I bought it. This may be the oldest favorite in my collection. I'm trying to think. I think it might be. Now, this is not the original that I had, but this is the Bare Minerals Loose Concealer. I have it in the shade Bisque, and it is literally a loose concealer, right? I'll tap some into the lid, and then I will just use a small fluffy brush I have from Real Techniques to fluff it into the eye region. I feel like it sets things so nicely. It just makes my under eyes look better in different lighting. And at the end of the day, it's still a powder, okay? It's still gonna kind of look powdery if you were super close. But my thing is, it looks so much better than other powders I've used on my under eye. I feel like it flattens, it covers, it sets the area, and it really does not move. And when I'm wearing this versus something else, it is a pretty big difference, especially like I see myself all the time in video, filming, in photos. And when I'm using this versus not, there is a very big difference, and it looks so much better and brighter on my under eye when I'm using this. So you could wear this alone as a concealer. Yes, it's a powder, but it's meant to be its own concealer. I use it to set mine because I'm crazy and I love it. So that, I mean, honestly, if you need brighter under eyes or you want something to switch up your concealer routine, I have loved this for years and still do. Speaking of concealer, the winner, period, of the year is the Natasha Denona concealer. This is another one that if they ever discontinued this, I would truly maybe shed a tear because this is the best concealer I've ever used in my 12, 11 years, however many of doing this, it's this. It's this one. It's always been this one. I have the shade N3. I recently repurchased this because I used it up. It's the one I reach for. It's the one I travel with. There's something about it that it's like any concealer. It's gonna settle a little bit if you put a bunch right where your fine lines are. But as a general rule, it blends in like that. It looks so seamless and flawless to the point where I'm like, every time I use other concealers, I'm like, it just doesn't look as good as this. So again, it's pricey, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. It's actually worth it. It is actually worth it. There are so many other high-end concealers that I'm like, nah, I don't know. That one, Now, my close second favorite is on Amazon. It's under $10. It's from Catrice, and it's also really, really good. So if you're like, I cannot swing that on a concealer, I totally get it, especially since it's something you use up a little bit quicker. That Catrice one is so, so good. I've also loved for years, and it is a lot cheaper. For my brows, the one favorite of the year that was kind of the standout is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. It is... It's just good. Like, it's the right amount of pigment. It's not overpowering. A lot of these tinted brow gels are too much for what I'm looking for pigment-wise. This one's just enough. My only complaint is I feel like I have to replace this every other month. But at like $4 a pop, I'm like, well, it's such a good product. I'm just willing to do it, you know? So, another favorite is, no surprise, the NARS Cream Bronzer. This has been a favorite for a long time. I've gone through now 2 of these. There are many other cream bronzers I really, really like, but this one is in a league of its own. I think part of it for me is the shade and the tone, but the other thing is it actually has this kind of cream foundation feel. Like, it actually, when you're applying it, covers. And so I think that's where the magic lies in this, and that's what's missing in the other cream bronzers that I've tried. This I can apply, and even if it were removing the foundation, it doesn't matter because it's almost as if it's a foundation in itself. And the tone is just ever so slightly darker than my skin tone, which I think for me is what I prefer. It looks a lot more natural, not super obvious. So everything about this is a win for me. This is the shade Laguna 01. Another favorite from the year is the Essence. I mean, this thing is like broken. The Essence blush. It's so pretty. It gives that kind of shimmery look to the cheeks. I'll apply a little bit more here. That shimmery look to the cheeks that you see like Sabrina Carpenter, but I don't think it's overpoweringly shimmery. It's just so pretty. This shade is Shimmery Rose. I wish the packaging were slightly better, but it is a definite standby and it's super inexpensive. I also love, I'm just gonna mention both of these Physicians Formula cheek products. I feel like this is where they shine. I really loved this one in Pink Sands. You mix it all together, it ends up looking so pretty. And then this one I applied earlier today. It's a bronzer and blush kind of in one. So there's a little bit of highlighteriness, so I'll just swirl it all and then tap one more time on the pink and apply it kind of as a big blush swathe. And it always looks so pretty. It's kind of an all-in-one product just to kind of quickly bronze and blush your face. And it's just really nice and it lasts all day. This is the only powder foundation I've been using, like, period. It's the HD Skin Matte Velvet from Makeup Forever. I just love it. I have the shade 1R02 and I have one here and I have one at home, and that's pretty much all I'm using, and I use it every single day in my T-zone. It's got really good coverage. So that is everything. I feel like I said, it was hard to narrow this down. There were quite a few more products I wanted to mention, but I hope this was helpful. If you're just looking for a way to switch up your makeup routine, maybe you're like, I want a new mascara this year, I want a new powder, whatever. I hope this was helpful for you, and definitely stick around. I've got lots of videos to come. I upload videos 2 times a week. We hang out together. We kind of go through life together. I'd love to have you around. And if you have not checked out the sister video to this, where I talk through my favorites in all other walks of life outside of beauty, definitely check it out. I think there are a few things in there that might make your life a little easier. And I love you all dearly. Thanks for watching, especially if you've been around for a long time. I so appreciate you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.